All right, y'all. It is day 3 of the journal challenge. And so I'm going to, again, as you know, I have to invite some friends on here and get this started. And I thank you to everyone who's been participating and signing up. Also to get the emails to participate as well, so you can get it delivered straight to your inbox. And only thing you have to do for that is go to, you can text 39492. You can text journal 30, journal 30 to 39492 to be a part of the journal challenge, so you can get it straight to your inbox. Just give me a second. I'm trying to invite some other people on here. And so on day 1, we talked about bondage, and yesterday was day 2, and we talked about boundaries. So today we're going to talk about intentions. And so basically, when we think about intentions, a lot of times we think about goals, because that's what a lot of us did for, or a lot of us do, not just for the new year. We might set goals for a new week. We might set goals for a new month. But this is the season where a lot of people set goals or resolutions. And so when we think about goals, what goals are, goals is pretty much what you want to accomplish, okay? But your intention is more about who you want to be and what you value. It's the way you show up in the world. And so when we think about that, we need to think about a guiding principle for how we want to be, a guiding principle for how we want to live and show up in the world. That's what an intention is. It's the motivation or the motive behind what we do. And so that is why, excuse me, that is why intention is our word of the day. So when we talked about bondage on day 1, about how bondage is the opposite of freedom, and we talked about boundaries yesterday on how we need to set those boundaries up, we also need to move into day 3 and think about what our intentions are. And so when we look at our question of the day, the question that we always guide our day with during our journal challenge every day this month is, okay, it's 2018, so now what? What did you do different today to get you closer to your best self? What did you do different today to get you closer to your best self? And so it's 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what have you done today that is going to propel you into the person who you most aspire to be? Are you around people who look like and who respond in the way that you want? Or are you around people in your tribe who do not look like and who do not reflect the person who you are becoming? Remember, we are like the most people that we hang around. So the 5 people that you hang around, that's pretty much who you are. So we need to look at that. So when we look at our daily guiding question, what did you do different today? And so again, our word of the day is intention. Intention. Again, intention is your guiding principle about how you want to live. It's the way you show up in the world, or the way you want to show up in the world. And so when we think about that, we need to be mindful that we might think we show up in the world one way, but the people who are close to us might tell us something differently. And so if we have a lot of people saying, no, you show up this way, then we kind of need to step back and assess, how am I showing up in the world? So when you think about your goals, think about the intention behind your goals, or the intention that's pushing you towards your goal. And when your goals are parallel and line up with your intention, then you're going to be more likely to achieve those goals, and you're going to be more motivated to achieve those goals. Again, goals That's what you want to accomplish. So you can think of goals as the what. Intention is somewhat of the how and the why. So what are your intentions? That's your next question to write in your journal. I hope you all have a dedicated notebook for the January journal challenge. It will help you just to, look back and to go over this first month of 2018. So what are your intentions for today? What are your intentions for the next month, the next year? We can go day by day, week by week. Sometimes we can take it hour by hour or task by task. What is your intention? Why did you send that text message? Why did you make that phone call? What was your reasoning? What's the underlying reason for the way you walk through the world and the way you show up, the way you interact with other people? How do you want people to perceive you? And so when you think about your intention, how does what you value the most, your core values, how does what you value mesh with what you want to accomplish? Those two things should go hand in hand. So if I make decisions based on my intentions and my core values, when I am approached with something that goes against that, then I'm going to have to look at, okay, no, that's not something I want to take part of, which goes back to yesterday's word of the day, boundaries. You see how that connects? I have a boundary set up because I know what my intentions are. And I know how I want to show up in the world. And I know the way I want to be perceived. And I know that I have purpose behind what I want to do. And so now when I'm approached with something, then I can step back and say, no, I'm not in bondage anymore. I'm free. I have a boundary set up here. And my intention is to show up loving. My intention is to be kind. My intention is to live a life with purpose. So no, I'm not going to participate in that. Or it might be the opposite. You might resonate energetically with something and say, this really makes me feel good. I want to be a part of this. I like this person's energy. I like their spirit. I like the work that they do. Their passion is connected to mine, and I want to be a part of this. And so when you know what your intentions are, when you are really in touch and being authentic with yourself and know what your values are, then you can make decisions that are rooted in your intentions. You can make sure you don't let people cross those boundaries or that line in the sand that we talked about yesterday, which will keep you, again, from day one. We talked about bondage. It will keep you from being in bondage. Again, if you want to get the journal challenge questions to your email, just text journal30, journal30 to 39492, 39492, or you can click the link that's in the description. Okay, so the next question, the next journal question, again, we're talking about intentions. That's the word of the day. Excuse me, my throat is dry. What area of your life requires more intentional living and heart-centered action from you? What area of your life? So basically, where in your life do you need to make sure your values and your actions are lining up? Where in your life do your deeds need to match your declarations? Where are you not living out your core values in your life? Where are you not acting with purpose? It could be, are you not being more intentional in your parenting? Are you not being more intentional with your finances or with your career, with your prayer life, your spiritual relationships? It could be you're not being as intentional in your marriage. Maybe you're not being as intentional and living out your values and honoring the relationship you have with your parents or someone in your family. Maybe there's a conversation that you need to have that you kind of let fester on, and and maybe you have some unresolved resentments that you need to be more intentional about working those things through. And so, you know, most of us, we have maybe more than one area that we really need to work on and work through. But just for your journal question for today, just think about one area of your life that you need to be more heart-centered, and you need to be more intentional about that area of your life. Now, a lot of people go with the idea of choose the big thing, you know, the most painful thing, or the hardest thing, the most challenging thing to look at. And so you have to know yourself. Will it be easier for you to tackle that area of your life that needs more intention and more heart-centered action? Will it be easier for you to knock down the big tree? Or are you a person who needs to do small things first, like to take small wins? You have to know yourself to know which one you need to do. And for me, it just depends on what area of life it is for me. There are some areas of my life where I really just work better under pressure, so I can just knock out a really big thing that I've been maybe procrastinating or putting off. And then there are some areas where I really need to just kind of take a small bite, because it might just be too much. So you have to know yourself. But the purpose of today's exercise is to, one, go within and look at, or did I disconnect? I hope not. Somebody just write a comment to let me know that you can still hear me, please. If you can hear me, just comment in the box for me. Okay, thanks, Veronica. I'm like, I know people are listening. Yeah, so if you're not a person who does big chunks and you need to do little chunks, then do that. Okay, and so when we think about that, we need to think about our affirmation for today. And so today's affirmation is, I live life intentionally. I live life intentionally. And we've had 3 affirmations, and so the best thing to do with your affirmations is to say them over and over again, even if you don't believe it. Even if you don't believe it, you're trying to retrain your mind and retrain your heart, because the things that we hear, the things that we say, are the things that we ingest and believe. That's why it's very important to guard our hearts and minds of the type of music that we listen to, the things that we watch, the conversations that we have, the things that we let people, you know, put in our ear. I mean, those of us who are parents, we can relate to that, because we know that when we speak, you know, life and affirm our children, it makes them feel better. And we know when we say things like, if we're upset, it doesn't make them feel good. So it's the same thing with ourselves. We have to watch the self-talk that we give ourselves. And so we have to, even if you don't believe it, even when you don't believe it, you have to look in the mirror and you have to say, you know, hey, I live life with intention. I live life intentionally. Yesterday's affirmation was, I can say no, because we were talking about boundaries on yesterday. And so those of you who might be struggling with people pleasing, you know, some people don't struggle with people pleasing, but some people do. And so it's hard for them to say no. And so if you didn't catch yesterday's video, make sure you watch that. Make sure you text Journal 30 to 39492. That way you can check the videos and get the questions, because they're kind of all connected. So if you're not sure about what bondage is and about what boundaries are, it's going to really be hard for you to grasp the concept of what intentions are. Also, Friday is the last day to sign up for the Transformation Breakthrough. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you click the link to be a part of that. And that is something, it's a small group and it is a fee for that, but you can start with I made it really accessible to just start off with $18, and then you can pay the balance in 2 weeks. And so, of course, 18 is for 2018, right? You can do that. But that's all I have for you today. I really, really hope that these little small 15-20 minute videos have been helpful, shoot me an inbox, let me know. I do kind of have the whole month planned out, but if there is something that you want me to touch on, shoot me a private message, and we can, have a word of the day around something that you want to talk about. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I have one last thing I want to mention too. And I meant to talk about this. So again, if you joined, this is our 30-day journal challenge. And so we have a word of the day and questions of the day. You can click on the link to join. But you know what? No, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. So tomorrow's word of the day is adjustment. Tomorrow's word of the day is adjustment. So we'll talk about making adjustments tomorrow, but I also want to talk about tomorrow. We're going to talk about scorekeepers. Okay. And I think that'll fit in well with when we adjustments when we talk about that tomorrow. So again, thank you everybody. Make sure you go click the link so you can get the questions to your email in case you want to get those like early in the day, and you can kind of already know what we're going to talk about. If you want to do your journal earlier in the day, make sure you have a notebook that's dedicated to the journal challenge. Text journal 30 to 39492. And if you want to join me in a more intimate group this month, we're going to start the Transformation Breakthrough on Sunday, but you have to sign up by Friday. I'm only taking a limited amount of people. We're going to be talking about mind, body, spirit, and tribe. It's going to be really, really good. And also at the end, we're going to have a really big transformation celebration. So that is all I have for you this evening, and good night. Thank you for listening.